I have to ask the question, whose bright idea was it to cast Kristen Wiig as Wonder Woman's most iconic villain, Cheetah? Wonder Woman 1984, directed and written by Patty Jenkins, co-written by Geoff Johns, produced by Zack Snyder and I believe his wife Patty Snyder, Patricia Snyder. I believe I saw the names in the credits. Gal Gadot, character Wonder Woman. Chris Pine comes back as Steve Trevor, even though his character died in the first movie. Pedro Pascal plays the billionaire tycoon Maxwell Lord. Kristen Wiig plays Wonder Woman's most iconic villain, Barbara Minerva, aka Cheetah. And let's talk about the plot of this movie. The plot is Wonder Woman is in the year 1984. She misses Steve Trevor. She finds a wishing stone where she wishes to bring back Steve Trevor, and Maxwell Lord gets the wishing stone, which he uses to turn himself into the wishing stone. He grants himself absolute power in a way. Kristen Wiig uses the wishing stone for 2 wishes, which is inconsistent considering the fact that the wishing stone is only able to grant you 1 wish, but for her it gets 2 wishes. Oh, okay, whatever. She uses 1 wish to make herself as strong and beautiful as Diana Prince, Wonder Woman. And then she makes a wish to turn herself into an apex predator, which is how she becomes the character Cheetah. We get to see some iconic things from the comics, like Wonder Woman throwing her tiara like a boomerang, and the invisible jet shows up in this movie, which was teased a little bit in the trailer. We get to see Wonder Woman in her golden armor, which makes her look like a golden hawker, maybe? And that's pretty much our movie. There's a bit more which goes to spoilers. I don't want to spoil this movie too much. So let's talk about this movie. Now, I really did like the first Wonder Woman movie. I thought it was a very good movie. Not my favorite of the recent DC movies. My favorite is Shazam, but Wonder Woman is my second favorite. It really did a good job bringing the character to life, and I'm somebody who grew up with Linda Carter's Wonder Woman. For the longest time, that's my Wonder Woman, and probably forever, always, Linda Carter will be my Wonder Woman, but I do like Gal Gadot playing this character. I thought she does a very good job playing the character for this generation, and Chris Pine is great as Steve Trevor. I do like him, and I do like their chemistry. I like Pedro Pascal as Maxwell Lord. I thought he was very good in the movie, even though they make him out to be very similar to Donald Trump. I was laughing at how they were making him like Donald Trump, even with the hair and some of the other stuff that he does in this movie. Then you have Kristen Wiig as Cheetah, and oh man, this was a miscast. This was such a miscast. Wonder Woman has fought some interesting villains like Hades, god of the underworld, or Cersei. But of all the villains that she's fought, the one villain that she's fought the most is Cheetah. Batman has the Joker. Superman has Lex Luthor. Wonder Woman has Cheetah. So you better get the right actress to play Cheetah, and they did not get the right actress to play her. Kristen Wiig is not the right actress. I don't believe they used the right formula to turn Barbara Minerva into Cheetah, because they basically just used the Michelle Pfeiffer, Selena Kyle Catwoman formula to turn Barbara Minerva into Cheetah, which maybe to some extent that's kind of understandable. It just doesn't work, especially with Kristen Wiig. Kristen Wiig is not Michelle Pfeiffer. Kristen Wiig is not an action woman. She's great with drama and great with comedy. I loved her in Skeleton Twins, and I did like her in the movie Paul with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. But Cheetah? You could have gotten Natalie Dormer. You could have gotten Sofia Boutella. You could have gotten Charlize Theron. You could have gotten Eliza Gonzalez from Baby Driver. but you get Kristen Wiig. Now I understand Sophia Boutella and Charlize Theron are both busy doing an Atomic Blonde sequel, but what's Eliza Gonzalez doing, or Natalie Dormer? Both of those actresses could have been used to play Cheetah. Instead, you get Kristen Wiig. It just didn't fit for this character. And then there are some other things that are wrong with this movie. Another thing I don't like about the way they are portraying Wonder Woman within this live-action DC universe is how they do Wonder Woman's secret identity. She doesn't really have much of a secret identity. She doesn't wear glasses like she does in the Linda Carter TV show. So it makes no sense that just her changing out of her clothes means that she's Wonder Woman. That makes no sense. How is she hiding who she is like she does in the comics? It makes no sense. And granted, the whole idea of just putting on glasses that hides your identity, that doesn't totally make sense, but it makes more sense than just a change of clothes. Granted, in the Justice League animated series, Wonder Woman didn't really have that much of a secret identity in there, but they wrote that differently, where in this movie, it makes no sense. It's just this movie world that they've created. It just makes no sense that Wonder Woman is able to hide who she is when she's Diana, and yes, she's not wearing any disguise to hide who she is. She's just changing her clothes. I really think they could have done that differently too. Bringing back Steve Trevor the way this movie does, I didn't like. I didn't understand, like, when Wonder Woman makes the wish to bring back Steve Trevor, why it couldn't work differently. Instead, it works out the way it does in the movie. I understand that the stone is like the monkey's paw, and maybe that's why the wish is granted the way it does within this movie, but it just didn't really sit well with me, and a lot of other things didn't really seem to be right. Because Kristen Wiig is able to get two wishes. She gets the wish to be as strong and as beautiful as Wonder Woman, and then later on she gets a wish to turn herself into an apex predator to be able to fight Wonder Woman. But it's just not done right. And when we get to see the invisible jet, even that is not done right. How can you screw up the invisible jet? I didn't like how Wonder Woman makes the jet invisible. You could have done something different in order to make the jet invisible. Like maybe saying that the Amazons have some futuristic technology to make a jet invisible or something like that. But instead, you do something entirely different, which makes no sense at all. I did like how Wonder Woman gets one of her other powers, which I don't want to spoil within this movie. It's a bit of a spoiler that they do show a little bit of tease of it in the trailers, but they don't show it fully. So when you get to see it in the movie, I thought it was very cool as a comic book fan and as a fan of this character, Wonder Woman. And I did like seeing Linda Carter getting a cameo in this movie. I did like that. But overall, this movie just wasn't good. It just wasn't what I wanted from a Wonder Woman sequel. Some of the action scenes were very good. Like seeing Wonder Woman deflect bullets with her lasso, that was pretty cool. And seeing her use the tiara like a boomerang right out of the comics, that's awesome. But overall, this just wasn't a good movie. This movie felt very sexist against men because every man in this movie is portrayed to be a jerk except for Steve Trevor. Just wasn't a good movie, and it could have been so much better. Patty Jenkins did such a better job with the first movie. I don't know why this movie got all screwed up. Was it Jeff Johns' input? Was it Zack Snyder and I believe Patricia Snyder being producers? Or was it just the fact that they used a wishing stone as the main MacGuffin? It's just not a good movie, and this movie has so many plot holes you can drive a truck through them. In fact, there's a scene that is a rip-off of Dark Knight where they have the truck flipping over, just like in the Dark Knight movie. And it just wasn't good. It just wasn't what I wanted from a Wonder Woman sequel. I was expecting something better, because the trailers made me feel like there was going to be something better. Even though I did like the golden armor and liked seeing Wonder Woman look like a golden hawk girl. But overall, it just wasn't a good movie to me. It could have been better. It really could have been better. So overall, this movie gets a D. I think you should watch the animated film Wonder Woman Bloodlines instead. You should watch the first Wonder Woman movie instead of this movie. And if you want to watch this movie, I'd say watch it on HBO Max instead of going out to the theaters. It's certainly not worth going out to the theaters. I don't know if they have an extra price that you have to pay in order to see Wonder Woman on HBO Max, because I didn't see it on HBO Max. I saw it in theaters. Which I kind of wish I didn't see in theaters. I kind of wish I saw the Cruise sequel instead. But this just wasn't a good movie. It just wasn't good. So don't bother seeing this movie. You're gonna be disappointed.